What's up, YouTube? It is your guy Hector back again this Thursday, February 1st. Like always, I'm chilling with my co-host, my guy, Mr. TC Stills. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how you feeling, big fella? Gotta unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back. Good to be here. Good to be back. Man, it just seems like forever we get to do this. So glad to be here and talk some Yankees. Feeling good. It's raining out here in Southern California, but it's always a good day on the brew. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I just want to shout out everybody that's in the chat, all of our supporters this year. It is February 1st. I know we are here talking about the New York Yankees, but folks, it is February 1st. Happy Black History Month. If you guys are out there, we're literally 13, 14 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training. Yeah. We are right there. The 2024 season is right around the corner. I hope you Yankee fans are excited because I know I'm excited. I know TC Stills excited. I had an amazing weekend. I was able to interview Aaron Boone. Shout out to Frank Luna. Shout out to Keith McPherson. That event in Oceanport, New Jersey was amazing. The Q&A with Aaron Boone was amazing. I have some footage from the interview. I know some of you guys saw it, but for those of you guys that didn't see the interview with myself and Aaron Boone, I will be playing it on the stream later on for you guys. But before we continue, TC, I got to do a little bit of the roll call. It's February 1st. We are right there next to spring training. Spring training is around the corner. Let's start the hype rail. My guy 01LS1Z2ADABX is in the building. Salute to you. And just so you know, right, we just got the email. Your order has been shipped out. It should get to your house by like February 10th or February 14th. But your order is in the mail. The order has been processed. Your sweater will be at your house. So shout out to you. I definitely appreciate you. My guy, Richie Rivera from Empire State of Baseball. How you doing? Richie says, good morning. My service at the office is horrific, so I'll be on and off throughout the episode. Hope you all have a blessed day. Richie, I hope you have a blessed day, my guy. And if you guys aren't following and watching Empire State of Baseball, what are you doing with your life? Shout out to my guy, Yankee Kyle is in the building. Yankee Kyle, how you doing? My guy, Gio, Unpopular Opinion is in the building. The Situation is in the building. How you doing? Alex B is in the building. FJ is in the building. Salute. Yankees Farm is in the building. Shout out to my guy, Los. Guys, also, make sure you guys go follow Yankees Farm. Los and Dane, Carlos and Dane, they do an amazing job. Shout out to the NYYU Familia. We are in the building. Kareem Grant is in the building. Salute, Kareem Grant. Ocean View Coffee Shop. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. Salute.
Change his name.
Capital S's. My guy, NFE, the Strike Zone is in the building. NFE, how you doing? JT, how you doing? Like he said, let's go Yankees. And we are going to start the hype off right. Like I said, February 1st, 14 days. Pitchers and catchers are around the corner. And we got to start off this amazing, beautiful February 1st by asking all of you amazing people in the chat, if you guys can, please smack that like button. If you're watching us for the first time, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on Instagram, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on any other social media platform, click the link in the bio. Come on over to YouTube, join the conversation, because we are sitting at 3,202 subscribers, on our way to 4,000. Wow. So if you guys can help us out, let's see if we can get to 4,000 before the first pitch for opening day happens. So hit that subscribe button and help us out. But TC, we got to get to the first rumor. I know we talked about it backstage for a little bit.
Yeah.
This one, it threw me in a loop. We didn't have no Yankees Morning Brew on Tuesday, so I couldn't talk about this when the news first came out. But I want to ask you, TC, and I want to ask the chat as well. How realistic is this rumor that's going around that the New York Yankees are the favorite to land Cody Bellinger? I don't see it. I definitely don't see it. I've been trying to grasp my mind around it. Do I like the idea of having Cody Bellinger in our lineup? Absolutely. I definitely don't think there's any Yankee fan that wouldn't like the idea of having Cody Bellinger in their lineup. But like my guy NFE just said in the strike zone, it's not realistic. TC, what's your thoughts about this? Go ahead.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all, for many reasons. But the main reason is there's no position for him. We have 4 outfielders. We got Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Grisham. We got Verdugo. We also have Stanton, who perhaps could play the outfield, and we have Anthony Rizzo at first base. I mean, I could see if Rizzo wasn't back to full health, he was hurt, and they had some question marks, I'm all in on Cody Bellinger. That's my guy. Put him at first, another left-handed bat, makes total sense. But there's no position for him. Everybody's healthy right now, as of right now, but that could change. But to throw $200 million at Cody Bellinger with no position, he'd be a platoon player, a bench player. It makes no sense. They need pitching, and they've gone away from that. They went all in on Juan Soto, and then they kind of with low key, low budget pitchers. I mean, we got Stroman at $18 million. We got a discount, which was a good deal. I think that's the smart deal. Cashman made a baseball move. I'll give it to him on that one. But as far as bullpen, they're losing. We're going to bring up a name, Wandy Peralta. Didn't get him back. So there's a lot of guys that they missed out in the bullpen, and that makes more sense to and a starting pitcher. They could use another starting pitcher. I know there's very limited guys out there with Blake Snell wanting $270 million over 9 years. That ain't happening. No. Jordan Montgomery's out there. There's a couple other guys, but it just, when it comes down to it, it just does not make sense to put $200 million toward a guy with no position. Just doesn't.
Yeah, and when you check the source, Mark Feinstein is a very credible source. Mark Feinstein, he's not some random bot Twitter account that just throws stuff out there just to throw things out there, right? So when someone like Mark Feinstein says it, you think it has some weight behind it. But according to the reports, Mark Feinstein reports that some executives around Major League Baseball, they still consider it a strong possibility when it comes to the Yankees signing Cody Bellinger. One executive suggested that the Yankees could sign Cody Bellinger, envision him playing at first base, center field, and designated hitter. Now, the only way that this makes sense, right? And folks in the chat, let me know if I'm off base. TC, you let me know if I'm off as well. The only way that this makes sense is if the New York Yankees have come to the realization that Giancarlo Stanton is only a platoon player. He cannot be in that lineup every day against tough right-handed pitching. So unless they decide that, we're either going to DH Soto, right, against right-handed pitchers. When a lefty's on the mound, we can let Giancarlo Stanton be the DH and play Soto in the outfield and give Verdugo the time off. That's the only way I can see that happening. Or another thing, but I don't see it happening, if the Yankees decide we can flip either Verdugo or Gleyber Torres for some pitching. Verdugo, I don't see, because when they brought Verdugo in, he already was on Yankees Magazine. He already had his interview, his Zoom conference. He had all of that. So it'll be weird. And he shaved his face as well. So it'll be weird for him to do all of that and the Yankees just ship him out and trade him for some starting pitching. But hey, it's baseball. You never know. Before we continue the conversation, I want to take a second to have a quick pause real quick. Shout out to Anna Marie, one of our favorites that are in the chat. Anna Marie says, "Hi guys, miss y'all. I haven't been around because my grandpa died. I'm hanging tough. Go Yankees. God bless everyone in the chat and my boys Hector and TC. Anna Marie, just know that my thoughts and my prayers are with you and your family during these hard times." Folks that is in the chat, we already know we are family over here. Anna Marie is a part of our family. If you guys can just put the prayer emoji in the chat for Anna Marie. Anna Marie, if you have to reach out to any of us on Instagram, any of us on social media, you can reach out to us. If you need a conversation, we're here to have the conversation. Anna Marie, just know that we're thinking about you. And like I said, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your family during this tough time. Go ahead, TC. Can you hear me, TC?
I think my computer's having some issues here. Freezing up.
Oh, no.
You can hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. All good. All good. Yeah, if you guys could just throw the prayer emoji.
Some prayers to Anna. Yeah, definitely. If you need to reach out, yeah, we're here. We're family here. All of us will, we'll rally around you. But talking about the issue with Bellinger, I mean, a trade would be great. I mean, that would open up a spot. Verdugo and Glaber, like you mentioned. I know they've also thrown around trading Anthony Rizzo. I mean, that's a possibility as well.
Oh God.
The big thing would be just if we could get rid of Stanton. That's the main thing. And if somehow we got out of that contract and traded him off with maybe with Glaber or something like that, that would work out. And we also forgot to mention Jason Dominguez is coming back as well.
Is coming back. Spencer Jones, he's in the pipeline. He's been working out at first base. Richie Rivera talked about it as well. Richie Rivera's always at Somerset. So it's just a lot of stuff that's going on that it just doesn't make sense. If this was next off season, TC, and Anthony Rizzo was walking away, copy. It makes all the sense in the world. But with Anthony Rizzo on the roster, it's kind of hard to figure what are you going to do unless you decide, like I said, that Giancarlo Stanton going forward, the Yankees decided that, you know what, he always goes missing during the season. He always goes on the IL. He is always hurt. We can't count and we can't rely on Giancarlo Stanton. So the Yankees, in their mind, we're going to bring in a guy like Cody Bellinger, and he's flexible enough that he can move throughout the 3 outfield spot. He can move at first base. He could be the DH. So you could move Cody Bellinger around. You don't have to stick him at a certain position, but an ideal lineup, an ideal starting day lineup for me would be Cody Bellinger in center field, Aaron Judge in right field, Alex Verdugo as your left fielder, and Juan Soto as your DH. Or if you got to have Cody Bellinger be your left fielder, Aaron Judge is your center fielder, and Juan Soto is your right fielder. That way, Giancarlo is in the lineup and Verdugo is on the bench. I know Verdugo is making only $9 million a season. You don't want $9 million being paid to your 4th outfielder, especially when we have another 4th outfielder and Trent Grissom on the bench already, who's an exceptional fielder, right? So it puts you in a tough spot, because you have to find spots for all these guys to play. But at the same time, it gives you an excess of hitters, something you didn't have last year. So if the Yankees were to go out there and sign Cody Bellinger, they would have an influx or an extra amount of hitters that they could try to move around, whether it's Verdugo trading him to some team to get some pitching, whether it's Gleyber Torres moving him to get some starting pitching. But if there's a way for us to get Cody Bellinger on the team, I'm not automatically closing the door. If it makes sense, if it's feasible, go out there and get it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean,
I want to add one more point, TC. Sure. My phone, I'll just throw it right to you. With the Yankees over the luxury tax, and folks in the chat, shout out to my producer, Celso, top producer in the game. Yeah. If you guys can, he put in the chat right now. There's a poll going on. Interact with the poll and let us know what you guys think. Should the Yankees sign Bellinger? Let us know. We'll go over the poll results afterwards momentarily. But for me, when it comes to Cody Bellinger, with the Yankees being over that Steve Cohen threshold, right? That penalty threshold, any player that they sign, they get hit with 100% tax on it. If you're the New York Yankees, who would you rather pay that penalty for, TC? Would you rather pay that penalty for a starting pitcher that pitches once every 5 days, possibly maybe 32 starts a season? Or would you want to pay that penalty for a guy that's going to play every day like Cody Bellinger, a position player that could play every day and affect you on an everyday basis instead of once every 5 days?
Depends. If I'd have to know who the player was. If it's a Corbin Burns or a Blake Snell, yeah. But if it's for someone like third, fourth, position starter, or I don't think I would do that. I mean, I would prefer Bellinger, but again, if it's a Burns or a Blake Snell, yeah, because the pitching, they need the pitching over Bellinger. That's a priority. But going back, I just wanted a quick point. I was speaking with my brother about this yesterday.
Go ahead, TC.
Remembering back in the the dynasty years, 96, 97, 98, those years, the Yankees had capable, good bench players that they could platoon in, have great depth. That's the thing that they don't really have. They didn't have it last year. We noticed that with the Corderos, Bowers, McKinneys. Getting a Bellinger gives them a lot of depth and like you said, a lot of versatility. If somebody's not hot, that it's cooling off, boom, Bellinger comes in, or Juan Soto goes to DH, or Giancarlo comes in. You have the many options. And in those years, they had that. I mean, I go back to 96 when they had Charlie Hayes and Wade Boggs at third. They had, Cecil Fielder and Tino Martinez at first base. They had Tim Raines, a utility outfielder to go with, Bernie Williams and Paul O'Neill. I mean, they had depth. And that's one thing that the Yankees really don't have going forward. I mean, I see, Orlando or Oswaldo Cabrera and Peraza as maybe our bench players. I mean, that's not a lot. Counting on young kids, we need guys that are, like a veteran presence. There has been so many guys that they've passed up on this offseason that could have helped. I mean, one comes to mind, Justin Turner. Justin Turner could have been a great platoon bench option, for the Yankees. But hey, they're going different routes, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But this whole thing with the Bellinger, I just don't see it happen unless there's a trade or some drastic injury that happens prior to spring training. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and we'll jump into our starting rotation when I bring up Aaron Boone, because Aaron Boone is super excited about this upcoming season. Like I said, I have that interview that I had with Aaron Boone. I played on the stream. But when it comes to Cody Bellinger, the idea of getting a Cody Bellinger, executives around, I
forgot to mention
Jorge Soler as well. And when the news came out about Jorge Soler, it didn't make sense to us, right? It didn't make sense because Jorge Soler is a DH and an outfielder, right? Corner outfielder, right? With Cody Bellinger makes way more sense than Jorge Soler. One, Cody Bellinger is a left-handed hitter. Two, Cody Bellinger could play all three outfield spots, not just two. And also, he could play first base. And when it comes to it's going to come down to the money. And if I'm Cody Bellinger, if I'm trying to reestablish myself, if I go to the New York Yankees on a 4-year deal, 4 years, $25 million a season, 4 years, 100. Are you okay with that? 4 years, 100 for Cody Bellinger? Five. How about the deal?
It's not my money. I'm good with it.
Because
why not?
I just when it comes to the Yankees, right? And of course, the rumors came out. The New York Yankees, they're out when it comes to Blake Snell, right? They're out on the
pulled their offer.
So they pulled it. So if they had $150 million on the table for Blake Snell, it's realistic to believe that they could have $100 million or $150 on the table for Cody Bellinger. If it's $100 for 4 years, that's a realistic option right there. If they had it on the table for Blake Snell, and like I said, if you're the New York Yankees, you got to ask yourself, what would you rather pay? Would you rather pay that penalty for a starting pitcher that only affects the game every 5 days, or would you rather go for Cody Bellinger? And mind you, if the Yankees do go for Cody Bellinger, it means that some of our prospects may become available in trades. As much as we want to see Spencer Jones up here, Spencer Jones may be available for a trade in the middle of the season for Corbin Burns, maybe, you know, because that's how the Yankees may be going.
I was just gonna say that. If they got Bellinger, they're loading up. I know the rumors at the trade deadline that they're, you know, but I don't know if you're gonna wait that long.
Yeah,
I mean, like again, I was talking with KC, and he said the same thing. They might not even be in it at the trade deadline. You don't know. You can't look that far into the future. So right now, that could be an option. I mean, if they get a Bellinger, they're trading Spencer Jones. They're trading some of those guys, gearing up for Cody. You know, a Burns trade. That's a great possibility.
Yeah, but then also, like Swifty just said in the chat right now, the Brewers, they may not trade. That's the gamble you take. Because as of right now, right, the Brewers, their front office, everybody around Brewer Nation, they believe that they're going to try to contend for the postseason this year, right? So, Swifty, you make an excellent point. That is a gamble that you make, hoping that he is available at the trade deadline. Because if he's not available at the trade deadline, I don't know what other starting pitcher that's out there to get, or what starting pitcher you're willing to give up the package is going to get to
Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because Dylan Cease is coming off of a bad year, and the asking price is already astronomical. Now, Dylan Cease, if he's not traded and he's held into the season, if Dylan Cease has a bounce back year with the White Sox, the asking price is going to be way more than it was in this offseason, TC. So that's another risk that you go with right there. But regardless of what happens, when it comes to this starting rotation, when it comes to this team, if you guys aren't excited about the 2024 New York Yankees, you guys got another thing coming to you. This season, this team is going to be super excited. I'm excited for it. TC, I know you're excited for it. There's another person that's excited for it, and I got to bring him up, and it's the manager of the New York Yankees, and that's Aaron Boone. And Aaron Boone, he is making his rounds right now. He was on WFAN. He was with John Heyman. He's been going around, and you know, he was on John Boy. He's going around the podcast, and you know, my guy C-Mac, Chris McMonagle, who we had on the show, he was on WFAN, and he said that he can't believe that Aaron Boone left the door open about Giancarlo Stanton being a platoon hitter. He was asked by Evan Roberts. Aaron Boone was asked by Evan Roberts, and instead of shutting it down and give the normal Boone response that you're normally used to hearing from Boone, like, oh no, he's going to come back, he's going to be better, he's going to, you know, he's getting into shape, we're going to see the better version of Giancarlo Stanton. No. He left the door open for Giancarlo Stanton to be solely a platoon hitter. So if he's a platoon hitter, the rumors about Cody Bellinger, it's more realistic now, TC. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just you forgot to mention the great interview that Aaron Boone did with the fine Hector Beauchamp. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's some good journalism, man. That Hector guy, man, he's a fine looking gentleman.
Thank you, bro.
No, that's a good point. I mean, I've said it, all along that this year Giancarlo Stanton's going to be a platoon player. He's not going to be an everyday DH. There's no way you can't have a 190 hitter be your DH every day. It just doesn't work. I know he's slimmed down and he's trying to get more flexible, but you still got to hit the ball, and he didn't seem to do that last year. So you can't rely on him. So bringing in a Bellinger with that statement makes a little bit more sense.
It makes more sense now than it did before.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear this statement from Aaron Boone, you would be like, oh, it makes no sense about the platoon thing. But hearing that from Aaron Boone and hearing the fact that normally Boone would shut that down, right? We know Boone. We know how he carries himself. We know normally what his response normally is when it comes to these type of situations. But he left that door open. He didn't shut it down whatsoever. So it makes more sense right now than it did a month ago about Cody Bellinger.
Yeah. And you never know. The Yankees do these, Cashman pulls off these crazy deals that you out of left field. You don't know. I mean, you think he's going this way, and then all of a sudden he pulls something, out of his butt, and he's got this. Yep, cool guy. I'm on his live streams too. Yeah,
shout out my guy NFC.
So you don't know. I mean, Cashman could be working on another deal that nobody's even talking about. with some prospects, with Glaber, we still got 2 weeks before spring training. So I hope there's some, there's something that's gonna, affect our bottom line here, and our either our lineup or our pitching, because there's still a couple tweaks and some holes in this team. But like you said before, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait till the season starts.
We were able, yes, the open panel will be happening today. We'll have the open panel at 12 o'clock, but we were able to trade for Jose Trevino right at spring training. At spring training.
Yeah.
Right. The rumors are, and you've seen different fans run down on him. Cody Bellinger wants to be a New York Yankee. He wants to play for the New York Yankees. His dad played here. He grew up as a kid when his father was playing here, being in the old Yankee Stadium, right? Shout out to Clay Bellinger. But I'm going to play that video right now from the Aaron Boone interview. Shout out to the folks in the chat. My guy John Cooper said, "Hey, Hector, did you ask Boone off the record? Tell me the truth." John, I'll tell you about the off the record stuff afterwards, but I'm gonna play the interview right now, and afterwards we'll talk about it. So here it is. Again, shout out to Frank Luna, my guy Frank Luna, who had an amazing event. Keith McPherson was the host and the MC of that event. Again, thank you, Frank, for this amazing opportunity. And get ready. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these things this weekend coming up. Oswald Cabrera is going to be at Woodbridge Brewing Company in New Jersey. If you guys are in the tri-state area, if you guys want to show up to Woodbridge Brewing Company with myself, you get a chance to get some autographs signed by Oswald Cabrera. It's a meet and greet. Make sure you guys go to Woodbridge Brewing Company online, check their Instagram so you guys can get your tickets. But again, here's the interview. What's up, Yankee fans? It is your guy Hector back again, and I'm with the man himself, Aaron Boone. First of all, Booney, I know traveling over here was a big hectic. I got lost the same way that you guys got lost. But how are you feeling being out here in Jersey, Monmouth County, on this Saturday?
Yeah, really good. I came out here this time last year. It was one of those freezing cold days, so a little better than that. And being here, I mean, what a great venue, what a cool setup. Looking forward to having a little lunch here before we head back, but always excited to go see how passionate the fan base is down there.
Yeah. February 14th, pitchers and catchers report to spring training down there in Tampa. Who are you most excited to see come back and have like a bounce back season? We had so many injuries last year. A lot of our guys, of course, Aaron Judge is number one, but besides Judge, who are you looking for the fans to get a view of this season?
Man, so many, but I'm excited about where Carlos Rodon and Nestor Cortez are. They were both up here throwing bullpens. They were here for Aaron Judge's event the other night, and we're in Yankee Stadium throwing bullpens. I feel like they're in a really good place right now, and have had a really strong winter. And I know they're excited to get out and show the world what they're capable of.
Last question for the youth that are out there. When it comes to the Yankees and their farm system, right now, the collective talent that is down there at the farm is at an all-time high. The Yankees, as a fan, I've never seen this much talent in the and down at the minor leagues. But some of those players, Jason Dominguez, I got to ask you, when it comes to those young players and getting them ready for 162 games in the big leagues, do you have any messages that you give to them? Maybe something that your father and grandfather shared with you to get ready for the big leagues?
No, but I think there's a lot to learning, and that's part of going through the minor leagues, is learning how to deal with that grind of playing every single day where you're and it can be a lot, and it can overwhelm a lot of players, and there's an adjustment period that has to happen, because it's not just physical, but it's the mental and the emotional, and you've got to be able to deal with the inevitable adversity, even for the great players, that's going to happen to you over the course of the year. How people handle that goes a long way in just them being able to become regular major league players. Yeah, Boone, my man, I thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Let's go Yankees 2024. I can't wait. Let's go. We out. Thank you, brother. So that was the guy himself, Aaron Boone. Again, thank you, Frank.
Give it up for Hector, man. Just come on, clap it up in the chat. That was excellent. Nice. Excellent interview.
Thank you.
So proud of you. And that's a slim down Hector. I noticed that he's slim. He's slimmer.
Yes. The rumors are it's 20 pounds slim.
Tell the people what's
since
going
the
on.
start of the new
Come
year.
on.
20 pounds slim since the new year. So all is well. Getting ready for the season. That's what it is. But shout out to all you guys that are in the chat. Appreciate all of you guys who supported us from the beginning. And a lot more of these interviews will be happening. Like I said, I will be interviewing Oswald Cabrera over the weekend this Sunday. And again, like I said, Thank you to Aaron Boone for taking time to talk with me, because he didn't have to do that, right? Like I said, Aaron Boone, he's making the rounds, and off the record, having a conversation with Aaron
show,
Boone.
I think he knows you.
He recognized a lot of his social. One thing I got to tell you, if you're a content creator out there, if you don't think the Yankees are watching you, you got that up absolutely wrong. If you're a content creator out there, if you got thousands of views out there, somebody from the Yankees watch you. So even if you have five subscribers, 100 subscribers, 500, you never know who's watching you, because over the weekend, so many people stopped me and told me how they're a big fan and they watch me and they like the work that I do. So I give a shout out to that. But when it comes to Boone, off the record, Boone was saying how excited he is about not only Carlos Rodon and Nestor Cortez coming back, but he's excited about Anthony Volpe and the possibilities of what Anthony Volpe is going to be doing. And his second year in the big league, obviously 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases last year, but the batting average wasn't something to really write home about, right? So I think, from that conversation, I think we're going to see a different version of Anthony Volpe this season. And going back to what he said, Carlos Rodon and Nestor Cortez, he is on a high when it comes to Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon, speaking to him, Keith also brought it up as well in the Q&A. Carlos Rodon, he's already down there in Tampa, ready to go. He says this looks like a different version of Carlos Rodon, 100% healthy. So for us, on paper, like FJ said in the chat, shout out to my guy FJ. On paper, the New York Yankees are a 98 win team. On paper.
I'd agree.
That's if our starting pitching stays healthy. We already know what we're going to get out of our number one guy when it comes to Garrett Cole. We already know that. But what are we going to get out of Carlos Rodon, who to me is the biggest X factor in that starting rotation? And then you have Nestor Cortez. And then we got Marcus Stroman. If Marcus Stroman is what he was in the first half of last year, when he went to the All-Star game, you got a very bargain deal for a solid 3-4 starter in your rotation. And then again, we don't know what Clark Schmidt is going to do as your number 5th starter, as an everyday 5th starter. And then the Yankees, we do have a lot of depth. Will Warren, we've interviewed Will Warren. He's an amazing character, great guy, right? Chase Hampton as well, another guy in the minor league system. Clayton Beater, Luis Hill is coming back from Tommy John surgery. So the Yankees, they will have some options when it comes to, if outside of the starting 5, they have some pieces to step up and who can eat some innings as well. Now, my guy Jacob Pachuzzi just remind me it's time for the roll call. Shout out my guy L.I. Yankee King, who is in the building.
What's up, L.I.?
Mike Perez is in the building. Mikey Perez, how you doing? Michael Caputo's in the building.
Caputo,
of course, Caputo
all right.
is pissing people off. Shout out Caputo. Shout out
That's
Caputo.
all right. We love Caputo.
My guy Jay Boogie, that's an absolute fact. We definitely love Caputo. Shout out to Jay Boogie, who is in the building. Jay Boogie, salute. Anna Marie says,
right? He's the closer.
He is the closer. Anna Marie says she wants 107 wins.
Oh,
Anna Marie, get us 107
Can you imagine?
wins. And like my guy NFE said, the health is going to be the key.
That's
the
right,
health
right there.
is going to be the key. Shout out to my guy Sean Browning, who's in the building. Big time Jerry himself, Jerry Cadell, is in the building. And of course, he's not my uncle. He's your uncle. He's everybody's uncle. Grandpa Tats is in the Benny. He says, funny you say that, Hector. One of my kids from the school I work stopped me to say he watches us during class.
Nice.
Uncle Tats. No, it is a good feeling. I'm not going to lie. It is a good feeling when you're recognized for the work that you do. So I definitely appreciate all you viewers. I definitely appreciate everybody that jumps onto the open panel. But again, another note, right? Boone was talking about the Brian Cashman curse fest that he went on right before the Juan Soto trade. But this is what Boone said. Boone said, I think it was probably a little therapeutic for Cashman, for him to come out and try to defend the things that he had done. Boone says he enjoyed the rant when it comes to Brian Cashman defending the New York Yankees in the state of last year. And I don't care. Like, I'm one of the most optimistic Yankee fans in the world. 82 and 80 it's not a solid season. That's not something you try to sell your fan base on. Not 82
not a Yankee
and 80,
season,
right? And I know I'm gonna keep on saying it and beat this shit like a dead drum. I know we missed out on Yamamoto. I get it. We missed out on Yamamoto. We wanted to add that other starter behind Garrett Cole. We got Marcus Stroman. A lot of Yankee fans really wasn't sold on Marcus Stroman. There's a possibility of us adding Cody Bellinger. I'm not sure how realistic that is. But when you take a step back and you look at the landscape, especially of the American League East, what did the Baltimore Orioles do to make themselves better? Did the Baltimore Orioles improve themselves this offseason more than the Yankees improved themselves this offseason? No. Did the Toronto Blue Jays improve themselves this offseason more than the New York Yankees improved themselves this season? No. The Tampa Bay Rays, they traded their top starting pitcher, so we don't even have to ask that question about the about them. When you look at the Texas Rangers didn't even know what their TV contract is going to be, and that's holding them up from re-signing Jordan Montgomery. The Houston Astros are the only team that you could say got better because they added Josh Hader. They upgraded their closer. That was the one thing that us as Yankees, we had over the Houston Astros. We had great numbers against their closer. Now they replaced their closer. Now they got Josh Hader. But if you ask yourselves, did those other teams that were ahead of us, did they improve themselves more this season than the New York Yankees improved themselves this offseason? And the answer to that is a big fat no. You can say it in any language. You can say it in German. 9. No one else improved themselves like the Yankees did. Outside the Dodgers, I think we could all come to the agreement that the Dodgers improved themselves more than the Yankees improved themselves. Outside of that, no other team improved themselves more than the New York Yankees. There's no way. There's no way you could say the Yankees are 6 games better. There is no way.
Come on,
the Yankees were 82 and 80 last year, like I said, right? The Texas Rangers, they won the World Series by winning just 90 games. You cannot, there's no one out there that can tell me that adding Juan Soto to our lineup, a healthy Aaron Judge not running into wars, that doesn't give us an extra 10 games. That doesn't give us an extra 10.
And a healthy Carlos Rodon as well.
And a healthy Carlos Rodon, that doesn't give us 10 extra games. That's insane for me.
I would say 10 is a 92, 93 win. I'm between 93 to 95 wins this year. I mean, on paper, that's realistic. And another thing is, I think the pitching and the hitting will work off each other, will feed off each other. I think a big thing last year was the offense was so terrible. The pitchers knew that they couldn't give up a run. So they were so stressed out that, I gave up a run, the game's over. We can't score. This year, it's going to be different. They can score runs at will. They should be. With Verdugo and Soto and healthy Judge and a healthy Rizzo and DJ, this lineup's going to score runs. And the pitching's not going to have to go out there and think, I can't give up more than 2-3 runs. It's not. And they're going to feed off that. And they're going to, the offense is going to pick up the pitching. The pitching will pick up the offense. I really think this is going to be a turnaround season. I really do. I mean, I might be, like you, too optimistic, but compared to last season, I think this team is going to flip. They're going to flip the script. They're going to win the East. They're going to win the East. They are.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. And again, folks, we got over 100 people watching us collectively on all platforms. We got 95 people in here on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button. We are sitting on 48 likes on the stream. If you guys can, let's run it up. Let's try to get to 100 likes on the stream. So if you guys can, please smack that like button. And we are sitting on 3,204 subscribers. If you guys can, if you're watching us for the first time, hit that subscribe button. And also, I think I talked to you guys about buymeacoffee.com, but over here at Morning Brew Sports, we're working with a company called Buy Me a Coffee. What that is, you could go to their website, you could donate to us, buy us a coffee for $5, whatever you want to do. It helps us keep more of the money that you guys give us. YouTube takes about 30% of the super chats. Buy Me a Coffee takes about 5%. So if you want us to get all the money you give us, make sure you guys go to buymycoffee.com and just buy us a $5 coffee or whatever you want. And you can leave us a nice little message for the Brew Crew Familiar. Appreciate you guys. But no, LI Yankee King just said it in the chat. He said, Hector, I got to disagree with you. 10 wins. He's at minimum 15 wins with a healthy Rodon, Soto, and Judge in the lineup.
Really?
And that's a fact.
Wow.
That's a fact. I can see that as well. Like I said, the Texas Rangers, they won the World Series by winning just 90 games. By winning just 90 games. You cannot tell me that you take copy. Aaron Judge is out for those 2 months, right? You take Juan Soto last year and put him in the lineup in those 2 months that Aaron Judge is out. We are a wild card team. We are a wild. How many times, TC, in those games for those 2 months, we lost games 1-0. We lost games 2-1. We lost games 3-2 because we couldn't score. Having Juan Soto in the lineup, we wouldn't have had that issue, TC.
Yeah, exactly. There was nobody to back up Judge. Judge was he was rolling solo. He needed, a Robin to Batman, or he needed some support. And when Judge went down, the whole lineup was just flat. It was terrible. I mean, he missed, what did he miss? 60 games, 70 games? I mean, it's just offense is a big thing, and we did improve. I don't know. Caputo says we didn't improve. I think we definitely improved the offense. Pitching needs a little bit more work, but a healthy Rodon, Stroman. I think they're going to surprise you.
Yeah,
you're going to be surprised.
Now, the Baltimore Orioles, like John Cooper in the chat just said, shout out to John Cooper. The Baltimore Orioles, they got new ownership group now, right? They have new ownership group. So if the new ownership group tomorrow, if they come in there and says, we giving Blake Snell $280 million. If the Baltimore Orioles sign Blake Snell, I'm scared about the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, because that's the only thing they're missing. One of their end of the bullpen relievers is going to be out for the season, right? We already know that. But if they sign Blake Snell, if they get themselves a number one starter, I'm scared. I'm scared when it comes to the Baltimore Orioles. Last year, nobody was expecting the Baltimore Orioles to do what they did last year.
Right.
This year, people are going to expect the Baltimore Orioles to improve on what they did last year. There's going to be a lot more pressure on the Baltimore Orioles this year. I'm not sure. Let's see if Adley Rutschman can handle that pressure. Let's see if Gunnar Henderson can handle that pressure. Is Jackson Holiday, is he going to be the rookie of the year in 2024? Let's see what happens with those young kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to come back and repeat those type years. They all had great years. But yeah, like you said, if they do get Blake Snell, that does improve them. But I just don't see them giving him a 9-year, $270 million deal. I just don't see that happening with the Yankees, Dodgers, the big money spenders out. I don't know if there's anybody that's going to give him that kind of money. And Boris will probably go down to the last second to try to get his client the deal.
Yeah, he's going to have to. And Boris is he's smart enough to know that, he can try to drag this out as long as possible.
Of course.
Look, he's trying to drag it. He's trying to drag it out, but let's be real. Blake Snell is not Garrett Cole. You could drag it out for Garrett Cole. You can't drag it out for Blake Snell.
Exactly.
Let's be real. Cody Bellinger, he's not Aaron Judge. You could drag that shit out for Aaron Judge. You can't drag it out for Cody Bellinger. So I'm not sure if Scott Boras is helping his clients or he's hurting them more than he's helping them. What's your thoughts on that before we switch gears on to the next topic? And folks in the chat, let us know as well. What's your thoughts on that? Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, well, Boras is banking on the fact that the teams are just looking at Blake Snell's year last year. Okay, he's the Cy Young Award winner. He's had 2. In between those 2 Cy Young Award winners, tell me what he's done. Nothing.
Nothing.
Barely 130, 140 innings. Nothing. Terrible. So he's banking on the owners looking at that and saying, oh, wow, yeah, he's a Cy Young Award winner. Okay, they're smarter than that because Blake Snell would have been scooped up by now. Why is he still on the market? So there's something there. Injury prone, maybe can't pitch in certain ballparks. Something's there. And I just don't see 270. I don't see it. The Yankees were the only ones supposedly to give him a deal, and it was a 6-year, 150. which is more than enough, I think, for a Blake Snell. 28, 29 million a year. So he passed that up, and Yankees pulled their offer, so they're out. Nobody else is going to be bidding. I mean, because when the Yankees are out, it's almost as if they want the Yankees there, so the bidding gets higher and higher because they know the Yankees will pay.
You have no leverage when having conversations with other teams, because you could go to other teams that says, listen, the Yankees offered 150, and they can say, well, the Yankees pulled that offer. You don't got an offer of 150. Realistically, he will get signed, but there's going to be a sucker to be had. A sucker will be had, TC. Some GM is going to make this move, and some team, some fan base, they're going to get the first 2-3 years of a great Blake Snell. But those last few years on that contract may not be as favorable as the first 3, right? And when it comes to Blake Snell, and again, I'm not trying to shit on Blake Snell, right? If the Yankees were to sign him tomorrow, 4 years, 5 years, I'll be jumping for fucking joy, just so all you guys know. Yeah. But when it comes to Blake Snell, right? If you take his numbers, what he done so far as a big leaguer, and if you project that over the next 8 years, that's not a Hall of Famer.
No.
That's not a Hall of Fame. You take Jordan Montgomery and you see what he has done so far in the big leagues, and you project that over the next 8 years. That's not a Hall of Famer. The only person that Scott Boras can kind of have that argument for maybe is Cody Bellinger. Because if you're projecting him over the next 8 years, you're still going about what he did his first few years in the big leagues when he was an MVP, when he was dynamic, right? So you're still using those numbers. Hopefully he can try to catch on later on, but that barely you're having that conversation as a Hall of Famer. So he's dragging these conversations out, and I'm not sure if they're if they're hurting his clients or they're helping his clients. And folks, we just cracked 100 viewers on YouTube. If you guys can, please smack that like button. I think we are sitting at, let me just double check. We are sitting at 61 likes on the stream. Let's smack that like button. Let's get the likes up to over 100. At 12 o'clock, we will be doing the open panel. And for those of you in the chat wondering, we will be talking about Wandy Peralta right after this conversation. Go ahead, TC. What's your thoughts? And then we'll switch gears.
Yeah, I mean, Boras has been around a long time, and the league knows him. And you could argue, yes, he is hurting him, but overall, he's not. I mean, he gets his money. Well, I mean, that's a reason why these players have him as an agent. I mean, he gets his client the money. I mean, yeah, you could say he's greedy. He wants his player to he gets his money, but he wants his player to get what they're worth. And yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling bad for these owners. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't feel bad. They make way more money than we even could imagine.
Oh, so yeah.
They can afford it. And this whole thing, they're over the luxury tax, and we've already gone over this. You brought up how much the Yankees make in the offseason, with all the sales, and so I'm not worried about all that. But just like anything else, if you're in a market and you're marketing yourself to a company as a regular worker, you want the best contract you could get. You want the best, the highest money you can get. I mean, if I can get $100,000 here and 120 somewhere else, I want $120,000 a year. I want that. So that's what he's asking for his players. But at the same time, he's banking on just certain years of the player. He's not looking at the overall, like we brought up about the careers these guys project to have. So it might hurt him. It might, like a Blake Snell, not having that 150 offer there anymore. It might hurt him. He might end up getting something lower than that. He might end up having to take a 3-year deal for $20 million a year. I don't know. I don't know. But there is a sucker out there, and if it's the Orioles, yeah, that's I think he's the only fit for the Orioles. I mean, there's
he's a perfect fit for the Orioles. If the Orioles,
I don't think they're going to go that high. I just don't.
Listen, for me, and this is what you got to ask yourself. If you're the Orioles, you have to make sure that you build yourself through your minor league level, right? You have to build yourself through the minors, right? So when you have an opportunity like a Blake Snell, you invest all the capital you can on that one starting pitcher, and you put other pieces around him. I think it's more realistic that the Baltimore Orioles will pay that big contract to sign Blake Snell, but I don't think they're willing to trade top prospects for a Dylan Cease and then have to sign him in a couple of years. So for me, it makes more sense that the Baltimore Orioles that they sign Blake Snell and then they try to put those young prospects that they got in the farm system around Blake Snell, and hopefully they hit it at the big league level. I just want to say, Caputo, you are allowed to be against the team if you don't like the team, right? You are allowed.
All opinions are welcome.
But all opinions are welcome here. But just respect the opinions of everybody else that is in the chat. That's all we're saying. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Rod Thompson in the building. Rod, how you doing? Hope all is well, Rod. Happy New Year to you. I hope the family's doing good. Rod Thompson, he got a few babies over there, and those babies are future Yankees. So I hope you got them training. We got a future shortstop, and we got a future closer in the Thompson family. Rod, I hope all is well. Salute to you, my guy.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Rod on the game season.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward. And also, when we link up at the stadium, Merck So Sargent said, bro, if you don't like the team, stop coming inside the Yankee discussion, talking about Caputo. But no, all statements, all takes are all welcome as long as you respect everybody else. That's all we're asking for. Now, let's switch gears. Let's talk about Mr. Wandy Peralta, El Viejo. He's in San Diego. He signed with the San Diego Padres on a 4-year deal. I think the New York Yankees weren't going to go that long when it comes to that contract length for 4 years. Listen, Wandy Peralta, he was solid with us. My guy Addison, he put it out on Twitter. Look at the numbers. Wandy Peralta in 2021, 42 innings, 2.95 ERA. 2022, 56 innings, 2.72. And 2023 last year, which was a bit shaky, 54 innings, 2.83. Wandy was a dog with us with the New York Yankees. I wish Wandy all the love. Hopefully he has an amazing 4 years with the San Diego Padres. Wandy, next time you come to New York City, I'll get you some goddamn mangoo and we could go on the Grand Concourse and talk out shit. But wish Wandy the best. He's definitely going to be missed coming out that bullpen. He was one of the reliable arms we had coming out of the bullpen. One of those lefties that were very rare. Big innings, but also was a rare lefty. He wasn't a specialist. He was able to get both lefties and righties out. So we will be missing Wandy Peralta. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, the two guys right there on the screen, Wandy and Michael King. We're gonna miss them, severely. I mean, the innings that they put in, key situations, high leverage situations. Aaron Boone always went to these guys. I mean, now what are you gonna do? That's a big question. We don't have too many lefties that are reliable. We picked up that Victor Gonzalez from the Dodgers and that Matt Gage from Houston. I mean, are we banking on those guys to replace Wandy Peralta? I just don't know. I don't know if Aaron Boone has the same confidence in those two guys. It's just he's going to be missed. I know the Yankees weren't going to give him 4 years. That's what he got with the Padres. 4 years, 16 mil. So 4 a year. I think we could have given him 2 years, 8 million, 2 years for 8 million. I mean, I think that would have been possible. But I guess he wanted longevity. He wanted a longer contract. So, I wish him all the luck, all the, success. Great guy. Both of those guys. Now they're in the Padres system, so I wish them all the best. But it's a big blow to that bullpen, and Cashman needs they need some help. Need some help.
Yeah, I would have rather having and shout out to David Rios in the building with the 199 super chat. Shout out my boy PR Heck, always doing his thing. David Rios, I appreciate you, my guy. Salute. 3 capital S's to the dome. But when it comes to Wandy Peralta, I wanted the Yankees to re-sign Wandy because we were familiar with Wandy. He was very solid coming out that pen. But I believe, like my guy NFE just said in the chat, Matt Blake, he's gonna work his magic. Right, we picked up Gage from the Houston Astros. Right, we was able to take him out that bullpen. And when you look at his numbers, when he's healthy, he was a solid reliever. right? We also picked up Gonzalez from the Dodgers in that trade. Another guy coming out of that bullpen. As long as it's not Nick Ramirez as our only lefty coming out the bullpen, I'll be happy with it, right? But I left I left Michael King on the screen for a reason. And, you know, like Celso said, we are 30 likes away from 100. So if you guys can smack that like button, let's get the stream up to 100 likes. But I left Michael King on there for a reason, because if you guys saw, I think it was over last week or the week before, Michael King, he came out with some punches for the New York Yankees. TC, did you see that? Did you see the statements Michael King made? I think it was in the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken, saying that the Padres are the one that won the deal when it comes to Michael King.
I heard that.
And if you guys saw Aaron Boone when he was on John Boy, he was saying that what held up the Yankees from in the Juan Soto deal or the Juan Soto negotiations, that the New York Yankees were trying to keep Michael King. I know we've had this conversation already before, but for me, if the New York Yankees, regardless if they re-sign him, regardless of what happened, I think the Yankees won that deal. I'm sorry, Michael King. You was a solid pitcher with us. You were solid coming out the bullpen. You had one half of a season that was amazing before you got injured. Last year, you were solid. You showed some promise in that starting rotation. But let's be honest, King, you good. You ain't great, right? You're a 30-year-old starting pitcher that's about to be a starting pitcher for the first time in your career. Pump the brakes, my guy. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, you know, that's just some salt. He's a little salty. I guess he didn't want to leave the Yankees. So, yeah, he's a he's a swing man. I mean, through his whole career with the Yankees, he was that fifth, sixth inning guy, could go multiple innings. And last year, you know, toward the end of the season, he became a starter and he did well. But he's had injury problems. And, you know, he's going to be missed, but he can be replaced. They have guys to replace him, as well as Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez. Those guys can be replaced. There's only one Juan Soto.
Yep.
I mean, the Yankees had to do that deal. They had to do. If we heard, let's just real quick. If we heard that Michael King was the holdup and they didn't get Juan Soto, and Juan Soto end up in the Mets or the Red Sox, how pissed off would we have been?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Michael King. You're wrong. We won the deal. We got Trent Grisham as well thrown in. No brainer for me.
And he was just a throw-in, right? And to your point, TC, I want to piggyback of what you just said. If you're Michael King and you're trying to find any silver lining to help you sleep better at night, if there's one silver lining, let this be it, Michael King. You were the piece that made the Juan Soto deal happen. So that's how good you were. You were good enough for us to get Juan Soto. Now have yourself a nice day in sayonara, my guy.
Exactly.
Go to San Diego. Go join some Parcheesi classes out there. They got some pickleball tournaments out there you could join. You got a lot of escape rooms out there. Go enjoy San Diego.
Beautiful.
We good in New York
beautiful
City.
Out here.
Exactly. Wandy Peralta, I wish you the best. The mango's not going to taste as good in San Diego. It's not that many Dominicans in San Diego. Sorry to say it.
I'll go support him. I'm not too far from San Diego. I'll go, I'll go hang out with him. I'll try to get an interview.
TC, I told you this backstage. You live in San Diego in my eyes. All right. Every time I talk about my friend TC, I say my friend TC lives in San Diego. And if he says, I mentioned pickleball, I better stop before Sunil pops up.
There he is. You mentioned it. He's in the chat. There he is. Look at it. There he is.
I was just about to say, Sunil, He's there. I downloaded WhatsApp just so I could be in your group chat. So send me an invitation for that group chat because I downloaded WhatsApp just for that. But shout out to my guy, Sunil. Confused Yankee fan in the building. Yankees should sign Bellinger and Clint Frazier and DFA Juan Soto. Confused Yankee fan. The name itself gives it away. Shout out to you. Appreciate you.
In the Jackson chat. Frazier now, right?
It's Jackson Frazier. And my guy Ness, the baseball guy. Shout out to my guy Ness. Once upon a time, the Yankees were favorites for Yamamoto. I don't want the Yankees to be favorites for anyone. I want them to make the deal and get it done. Ness, I am right there with you. Like I said, the news were O's. It came out, like I said, Feinstein also reported on it a few days ago about the Cody Bellinger stuff. As an optimistic Yankee fan, I like to believe it, right? Like I said, as an optimistic Yankee fan. But as a realist, it doesn't make sense. as a realist. It just doesn't make sense. Folks, we're going to start the open panel right now. I'm going to put the link in the chat for the open panel. But like always, when it comes to the open panel, let's be respectful to everybody. Let's respect the terms and services for YouTube, for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, wherever we're broadcasting. Let's respect the terms and services. If somebody is in the middle of giving their take, allow them to finish, because the same time will be given to you so you can finish your take at the same time. Let's be respectful. This is a familiar over here when it comes to the open panel. TC, any Yankee topics that we haven't touched on that's been scratching your mind over the past couple of weeks? Or since the last episode, I should say. Go ahead.
I did just come across something today that the Yankees were actually looking at Noah Syndergaard as an option coming out of the bullpen, or possible, starter. So I don't know. I mean, that's hey, I'm sure it's going to be something cheap. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, Matt Blake works wonders with pitchers, so he could be an option, and you never have enough pitching. That's what I always preach. So I wouldn't be a bad option out of the pen.
Nah, definitely is. And also, like Anna Marie says, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are at 76 likes on the stream right now with over 100 people in the building. Folks, we are just 24 likes away from 100. Smack that like button. And when it comes to the subscribers, we are sitting at 3,205 subscribers. Wow. If you guys can help us out, we're on our way to 4,000 sub. Smack the subscribe button. And also, if you guys are going to be out there for spring training, let us know. I plan on being down there from March 3rd to March 13th. Let me know. Let's link up. I'm going to be linking up with Damian Serrano. Damian, I got your number. I'll message you. We'll coordinate, but I'll be in the building with my guy, Damian Serrano. If there are any other Yankee fans out there, if you want to come hang out, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter. We'll set something up. Everybody is welcome. So I'm going to bring you guys up as you guys showed up in the queue backstage. I'm going to bring up my guy, Jonathan. Then I'm going to bring up Double A, and then I'm going to bring up L.I. Yankee King. And then I got Sean Browning backstage as well. So I'm going to bring up my guy, Jonathan, first. Jonathan, my guy, you handsome son of a bitch. How are you feeling on this Thursday? Good day, good sir.
I'm recovering from a flu, so I'm better.
Well, I hope you're good. I hope you're drinking your fluids. Make sure you drink your water.
Than I was last week, I can tell
as long as you're better than last week, Jonathan, that is all that matters. But Jonathan,
drink your water like Hector. Look at Hector drinking his water. I was just about to say, make
sure you drink your water. Jonathan, you've been listening to the conversation.
Gatorade, okay.
You've been in the chat going back and forth. So I want to ask you, the floor is yours. Anything you want to talk about? What's your thoughts on the Cody Bellinger situation? Go ahead, John.
I think that, honestly, I don't think they're going to – the big problem with Cody Bellinger, from my perspective at least, is how does he fit in if they plan on going after Murakami? How does it fit? How does he fit in? Mm-hmm. Do they plan to go after Murakami, or do they plan to get a Cody Bellinger? And do they want to give up 2 draft picks and the signing bonus for another year straight?
Mm-hmm. That's because Cody Bellinger is attached to he's attached to a qualifying offer, so that's going to have to come. It's not only the luxury tax, it's everything else.
Right, who can play first base. So what is the need for it? If there were any time of a need for Bellinger, it would have been last year instead of Rizzo. Mm-hmm. He had no qualifying offer. He was a free agent, and you didn't have to worry. You probably could have signed him for 1 or 2 years until Murakami is ready. So I personally, at this point, I would say no.
Copy. I can respect that. Yo, you know what's so funny? Hold on. Merc So Saucy in the chat says, yo, Heck, when you going for some Coors? You know what's funny? You remember the commercials? Obviously when I was younger, but it was like, you could tell if the Coors can was cold by the mountains or whatever. So whenever I used to be with my moms in the supermarket, I used to be in the beer area, just like opening the beers thing and seeing if the Coors Lights thing, if it's blue, if the mountains are blue or not. It's a little ADHD moment for me. My fault about that. I'm gonna throw it over to TC. TC, what's your thoughts about what Jonathan said?
Yeah, I mean, right. It doesn't make sense if they're willing to go after Murakami, but again, look what happened with Yamamoto. I mean, they put all their eggs in one basket, didn't work out. No second, no plan B. So you can't keep looking toward these future guys to make a move. Yankees need to do something now in 2024. They need to win now.
Don't they have some young guys in the minors who could play first base? Like
they
Ben
do.
Rice?
Yeah,
Ben Rice,
you got
Spencer
like
Jones,
you said, you
possibly.
you brought up Ben Rice.
From your point, they have a backup in case Murakami flips him off again. Like Yamamoto.
You're right. Yeah,
I
mean, the money just doesn't make sense to have a platoon player making over 25. You got Stanton. You have Giancarlo Stanton doing that. Yeah.
And you still have
unless they came to the fact that they're trying to go all in this season, right? That's the only way I can see a Cody Bellinger thing. I honestly make it sense, like Jonathan says. The fit just isn't there. I want to take a pause real quick because, like my guy Celso said backstage, we are 20 likes away from 100. If you guys can, please smack that like button. And just to let you guys know, February 8th, we are doing a 12-hour live stream over here on Morning Brew Sports. Yanks Morning Brew is going to start it off, and then it's going to go into the next Morning Brew that will lead us into the NBA trade deadline special. It will be February 8th, and we are doing this because we are raising money to help us get to help Phil and Social get to New York City, because we got a great opportunity with the New York Knicks to do something inside of the Garden, but the only thing that is stopping us from doing it is the money to get up there. Is to get up to New York City. So we're going to be doing a 12-hour live stream. It's going to be February 8th. We're going to kick it off with Yanks Morning Brew. Yanks Morning Brew is going to go from 11 to 1 o'clock. And then right after that, we're going to jump into Knicks Morning Brew from 1 o'clock up until the Knicks game for the NBA trade deadline. So mark it in your calendar, February 8th. Like I said, we have an amazing opportunity to bring you content from Madison Square Garden, and we'll try to take full advantage of that. But the money is the only issue. We have to get Celso and Phil to New York City. I'm already in the city, but I got to get my bros up here. Jerry's going to be in the city as well with BetMGM. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So February 8th, guys, make sure you guys tune in.
Does that impact the open panel next week?
No, because like I said, the Yanks Morning Brew is going to be from 11 to 1. So the open panel will be from 12 to 1. So it's not going to impact the open panel at all. But I'm going to bring somebody else into the conversation to come join us. And like I said, I bring you guys up as you showed up in the queue. So I'm going to bring up my guy Double A. Then I'm going to bring up Michael Caputo, I'm going to bring up Double A, L.I. Yankee King, Michael Caputo, Sean Browning, and then my guy NFE. But I'm going to bring one of the fittest 60-year-olds I know in my life to the open panel. My guy, Double A. Double A Familia. How you feeling, bro?
A? All right, what's up, fellas? Hey, Heck, am I the only Nick freak on here?
No. Jonathan's a Nick fan. Jonathan's a Nick fan also. Hey,
Jonathan.
I'm an honorary Nick fan as well.
Yeah, TC's an honorary. It's weird seeing you without and Yankee colors and no Nick stuff behind you, right? I got to get used to seeing the Yankee fan of Double A. But good seeing you, Double A. You know I love you, man. Like an uncle. Appreciate you, like always. You listening to the conversation? Let's get your take, bro. You on the floor?
Hey, look. I think the Yankees are going for it, as you say, Hector. I think that is their mindset, and I would be surprised. And I don't think it's out of the question for them to go after Snell as well, to retract and go back to him, especially losing two big-time relievers and just losing, Peralta. Now, their mindset might be starting pitching. If we have dominant starting pitching, then, that might save our relief staff. But with Bellinger, they might be thinking, look, we can flip Verdugo, right? It was funny to me when we traded for him. Somebody said, "Okay, now that we have him, what number is Judge going to take?" That was hilarious. But they could always flip Verdugo. You know, I wanted them to sign Bellinger in you know, in the
Same.
offseason. I really thought that that was a move they were going to make. I'm not, complaining about Soto. He's going to do wonderful things in the Yankee uniform starting this year. And I just think they need to get off of trying to trade Gleyber Torres. Give the man some love, man. You got to realize he had the season he had, which is substandard for what we want from him. But he did it without Aaron Judge in the lineup for how many months? He was all we had. And, everybody's trading him for garbage, man. Come on. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have a great year this season, especially with all these bats around him. But I think he's going to price himself out of New York, Hector.
Yeah. And then it's a good and bad thing for us, right? It's a bad thing because we lose a guy who's a potential all-star at his position at second base, but at the same time, it's a good thing for us because that means if he gets the bag this offseason, that means he had an amazing season with the New York Yankees in his walk year. So I'm going to be rooting for Gleyber Torres. I see what you're saying, Double A, when it comes to the trades, because everybody is just trying to trade everyone just to trade him. But when it comes to Gleyber Torres, if we were going to trade him, I'm going to need something of substance back. I don't want no minor leaguers that is going to take 3 to 4 years to get ready before they even come to the big leagues, if they even come to the big leagues. I'm going to need something that's proven. I had the starting pitcher, either some bullpen help if we're going to trade a guy like Gleyber Torres and his potential. But I want to bring up some more people to help us and join us in on the conversation. I'm going to throw it back to you, Jonathan, and then throw it over to Double A to get his last point on that. Go ahead, Jonathan.
From the beginning, I was interested in trading Gleyber Torres if there were get a good starting pitcher. Remember last year there would talk about the Pablo Lopez and Gleyber Torres.
Yes,
you can get a good starting pitcher for Gleyber Torres. You can already replace Gleyber Torres, so you're not losing anything. You're gaining a starter, which the Yankees desperately needed at the beginning of the offseason. So I'm not. I wouldn't trade Gleyber Torres for garbage. I would trade him for something we need.
And big time Jerry in the chat says Double A up here looking like Reggie Jackson, aka Mr. October. If you didn't know, Jerry, Double A is Reggie Jackson's stunt double, right? He gets paid on the side to just step in for Reggie Jackson if he needs it or not. That's what Double A is. But Double A, I would throw it over to you on your last point. This is what I want to ask you for. We talked about the Cody Bellinger situation and stuff like that. What do you want? What's your thoughts on Giancarlo Stanton? What do you think the team is going to do with Stanton? And then I'll bring up the rest of the guys to join us in the conversation.
I might be the only one in the world to think that Stanton is also going to benefit from the addition of Soto. Okay, don't forget who Giancarlo Stanton is. Okay, if he gets right and he can go on a tear at any time. And word is he's really putting in the work finally this summer to really get there. But I just think you put Stanton in that lineup with Judge and Soto. I mean, team's face of the Yankees lineup this year, it's going to be a tough time.
Good luck.
Baby.
Oh yeah, it definitely is going to be a tough time.
Pick your poison, right? Heck, pick your poison.
Pick your poison, because when it comes to and I've seen some people talking about this. Some people saying to bat Aaron Judge too and let Juan Soto be his protection. But I think the best thing you could do is bat Juan Soto second. Juan Soto batting second is Aaron Judge protection, just because Juan Soto can get on base over 40% of the time. If Juan Soto is on first base, teams are not going to pitch around Aaron Judge. If they pitch around Aaron Judge, they're a fool. That's why it makes more sense if we do get Cody Bellinger, because if teams pitch around Aaron Judge, then they got to deal with Cody Bellinger with runners on first and second and probably one out or no outs, if any. But we got the rest of the fellas that's joining us. I got my guy Michael Caputo. Caputis, put a smile on your face. I got my guy NFE. Of course, the handsomest motherfucker from Cleveland. L.I. Yankee King is in the building. And then I got my guy Sean Browning in the building. Caputo, I want to throw it over to you. And just so everybody knows for this conversation, let's keep things short, sweet. Let's try to get everybody in as much as we can. So let's try to throw it around. Let's keep the conversation free flowing. But Caputo, I see your frustration. I understand your frustration. So I'm going to give you the floor right now. You got 30 seconds. Let it out. Let just people understand where you're coming from. Go ahead, Caputis.
Well, I mean, I wanted them to add another starting pitcher, and I guess once again, they stand pat like they do every offseason. And Stroman is the big acquisition. It's that's what they're going with, the number 3, number 4 starter to back up Garrett Cole. I mean, you needed a dominant number 2 to pitch behind Cole. Stroman is nothing but a back-end starter. He's not, like I was trying to tell you, he's not a World Series caliber move. And they all I wanted was a starting pitcher, and they didn't do it. And the bullpen has some question marks too. I mean, you don't have Clay Holmes is not, he's not an elite closer. I mean, I wanted like a official, like a lockdown closer, and they don't have that. You see the Astros signing Josh Hader. They have the best bullpen in baseball right now. So
I have a bless you, Eli.
And I'm just not impressed. I was happy when we got Soto. That was, what was that, 2 months ago? Remember I told you how this is they're going for it. Well, I don't think the Yankees are going for it. I think what they did was they got us all riled up, and they basically said, "Oh, sorry, Yankee fans, but we got you. We trolled you. We got Soto, and we didn't do anything else." So this was, to me, one big troll job. It was a troll job.
Let me ask you a question, Caputo, and I'll throw it over to NFE. Is Verdugo an upgrade on the roster from last year?
Yeah. I said I like the Verdugo.
Hold on, listen. I'll let you speak. I'm just responding to you. Is Trent Grissom an upgrade over Jake Bauer in the on the roster?
Yeah, but he can't hit. He has no bat.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, was he an upgrade over Jake Bauer?
Yeah,
on the
he
roster?
can play defense.
When the Texas Rangers, when they won the World Series, can you tell me who was the lockdown closer for the Texas Rangers when they won the World Series?
Yeah, they didn't have an elite closer, but they won a World Series, right? They did, but
they're two hitters they had, and they had 2 hitters in their lineup. They had Corey Seager and they had Garcia. Is Corey Seager and Garcia better than Juan Soto and Aaron Judge?
No, but do you know a guy by the name of Mariano Rivera?
What happened?
Remember Mariano Rivera? If we didn't have Rivera, we went.
No. Okay. We're talking about 2023 or 2024. Mariano Rivera was when I was playing fucking Legos and watching Power Rangers and Digimon. That's where Mariano Rivera is from. But what I'm telling you, Michael Caputo, was you're saying that the Yankees haven't done anything to improve their roster when they actually have. They improved. This team that they have on paper right now is better than an 82 and 80 team from last year.
I'm not feeling it.
Is Marcus Stroman better than Randy Vasquez?
Marcus Stroman is a back-end starter. Yeah, he's better.
Is Marcus Stroman better than Randy Vasquez as a back-end starter?
That's not saying a lot.
Is Marcus Stroman better than Clark Smith as a starter?
Yeah, but he's number 4 starter, Stroman.
I'm not, but that's not the question I'm asking you, Caputo. I'm asking you, is he better? That's what I'm asking you. So when I'm laying out the rock,
it's not a World Series caliber move.
What happened?
It's not a World Series caliber move, Stroman. I want World Series moves.
Is Juan Soto a World Series move?
No.
Juan Soto is not a World Series move.
Well,
the number one lefty hitter in all of baseball is not a. I mean, the number 2 behind Ohtani is not a.
Yeah, that is. I didn't hear you. My thing cut out.
Okay. But Caputo, I understand your frustration. I want to throw it over to NFE to get him in on the conversation, and then LI Yankee King and Sean Browning. NFE, the floor is yours, my guy. What's your thoughts on the convo? Bring some sanity back to this panel. Go ahead, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, I know some fans have some, question marks about going into the season, but, for me personally, I do feel a little more optimistic going into 2024 than I did a year ago. The Yankees did make good moves this offseason. So the other thing I like to point out too, and I pointed this out several times, is that signing big names, right? It doesn't always guarantee a World Series. Look at the 2023 World Series. Who was in it? Did any of us expect the Texas Rangers and the Diamondbacks to be in the World Series? Please tell me. If you tell me yes, I don't believe you.
Hell no. And if they say yes, NFE, they are lying their ass off.
Nope.
Exactly. And I didn't believe in that either. I thought it was going to be the Braves going all the way. I thought it was going to be the Braves and the Orioles. But I was freaking wrong. All right. So, I always feel like, you got to add a couple of big names. Definitely. Right. You had like 2 or 3 big names, to make the team better. But some of those smaller moves that the Yankees made, some of those small moves add up. A lot of people don't realize that those small moves do add up. You know, I'm not going to even bother with the whole Yamamoto thing. I mean, you know, that's water under the bridge at this point. I mean, Yankees made a good offer, but he wanted to go to the Dodgers. I think that's what it boiled down to. So the starting rotation, as far as the starting rotation goes, I think on paper they look good, but they need to stay healthy. I mean, Cole is a guarantee. It's just the rest of the guys in that rotation. You know, there's a couple of question marks, no doubt. But hopefully, if these guys can stay healthy, then, you know, this could be a solid pitching rotation. But adding another starter would be nice, but we'll see. You know, I don't. The East could go after Burns at the deadline, assuming the Brewers are not going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, and I get it. That's a solid point, NFE. And like NFE said, I want to piggyback off of it, and I'll throw it over to LI Yankee King, Sean Browning, and then I'll circle back up to AA and then Jonathan. But to go off of what NFE just said, yes, we would like to sign all the big names. Having all the shiny big names is amazing, is beautiful. We would love to have that, right? But as much as we would love to have the big shiny things, right? Derek Jeter, he needed Luis Vizcaíno to get one of those World Series. Right, when you look at it, those small little pieces, those naysay plays. Juan Uribe on the San Francisco Giants was a trade deadline acquisition that helped them win the World Series. So your biggest stars aren't going to be what gets you over the hump. Having those nice little pieces sprinkled around would be good. Great as Mariano Rivera was coming out of that bullpen, Graham Lloyd was a big part of that bullpen as well. Okay. Sweeney was a big part of that bullpen as well.
There aren't too many Marianos.
Was a big part of that bullpen as well in the late 90s. So as great as Mariano was, there were other pieces in that bullpen to help get the ball to Mariano. I'm gonna throw it over to my guy, LI Yankee King. I think the thing got messed up. Hold on, let me move this back around. LI Yankee King, I'm gonna throw it over to you next. The floor is yours, my guy. Whatever conversation you want to bring up, and then I want to throw it over to Sean Brown. And go ahead, LI.
Now, I'm going to bring this back to Cody Bellinger.
Go ahead.
When you sign Cody Bellinger, because of the luxury tax threshold that we're above, you're basically paying him, say,
double, right?
25 mil a season. That immediately becomes 50.
50, yeah.
So I don't think Bellinger is realistically an option because the Yankees aren't going to go, $50 million for Bellinger.
Yeah.
No. And Yankee fans need to stop comparing closers to Mariano. Mariano was a generational talent at a closer position. Yes. You will never see that again, ever.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Li. And when it comes to Cody Bellinger, I get it. Trust me, because we were scratching our head this entire morning. You was listening to the conversation. But if the Yankees were going to go down that right, Li, like, hypothetically, let's just talk hypothetically. If the Yankees were going to go down that right, and if they were going to pay $50 million for a player, if they have to pay that penalty, if you're the Yankees, who would you rather pay that penalty for? For a starting pitcher that pitches once every 5 days, maybe 32 starts because they have injury concerns, or a guy like Cody Bellinger who could probably be out there 5 or 6 days out the week. He may have some injury concerns, but he could impact your team more than that starting pitcher could impact your team. So I would say if I'm the Yankees, I'll be willing to pay more of that penalty for Cody Bellinger than I will be for Blake Snell. That's just me personally. People may view it just a different thing. What's your thoughts on that, Eli? And I'll throw it over to Sean Browning.
And with that, they might be interested in Bellinger because Rizzo's still dealing with concussion symptoms. So they might be thinking, oh, crap, we can't rely on Rizzo. He's still dealing with concussion, so
could be a backup,
Bellinger.
He could be a pickup, right? Because you have two guys that have injuries concerned. One, we all know Giancarlo Stanton and his vacations he goes on, and we don't know how Anthony Rizzo is going to look coming back after that concussive situation. He looks good right now when it comes to videos online, but we don't know how is it going to be actually on the field. So Cody Bellinger could be insurance for either Anthony Rizzo or Giancarlo Stanton. Instead of waiting for those injuries to happen, like that's what normally Brian Cashman would do, Cashman's being proactive right now. If that's the situation, I believe Cashman is being proactive because the Yankees medical staff aren't 100% in belief when it comes to Stanton and when it comes to Anthony Rizzo. And Uncle Tash just said something in the chat. Just says, everybody, hell has frozen over. LI is making fucking sense. Let's go play the lotto numbers right now before our luck runs out. But I'm gonna throw it over. I'm gonna throw it over to Sean Browning. Sean, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Salute to you, my guy. Hope all is well. Happy New Year's. The floor is yours. What's your thoughts? Let's throw it back over to Double A and let's circle to Jonathan and TC before we get ready to close things out. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna hit it on Snell right now. The whole option. I know people are mad that we didn't get him, but let's be honest. The Yankees were the only ones that offered him a deal out of all the other league, and it was a fair deal, $25 million per. While we were floating around that luxury tax, after we locked up all the our players, so $25 million per, and they balked on it. Boris and Snell balked on that deal, and Hal said, "All right, adios." I mean, because it just doesn't make no sense. It's the only thing you get, the only offer you're getting out of all the leagues. You're trying to bank on your second Cy Young, which was sandwiched between average seasons with your 5 and 5 most of the time pitcher. You're not like this. You're not Cole. You're not Randy Johnson. You're not whoever the greats are. All the greats are. So you trying to offer 9, and you're 31 years old. You know, most players, pitchers, and everyday players play to about what 37, 38.
Yeah.
And then, you know, very few go past 40.
Yeah.
So you trying to sit 9 years at 30 mil? No. That was an insane offer. But I also like that the aggressiveness that Hal and Cashman have been having this season with Soto, Grisham, Verdugo, and then all the small depths that are proactively, you know, small pieces filling in the depth proactively. After we traded a lot of arms for those 2 moves, they got us 3 guys, and our lineup is no longer a black hole like it was last year.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off what you just said right now, Sean Browning, and great point. And I'll throw it over to you guys to respond real quick. But when it comes to Blake Snell, and folks in the chat, let me know what you think about this. Scott Boras needs to become realistic, right? Jacob deGrom, arguably one of the best, if not the best starting pitcher in Major League Baseball for a stretch of a time, for some years in a row. We could say Jacob deGrom, back-to-back Cy Youngs, was the best pitcher in Major League Baseball when he was a free agent last year. He was around the same age Blake Snell is right now. He only got 180 for 5 years. Blake Snell is not better than Jacob deGrom. Blake Snell should not be getting more than 108. Blake Snell, 5 years, should not get more than what Jacob deGrom got. I'm telling you that right now. I know it was just last offseason, and I know Yamamoto's contract messed up the market, but there should be no reason that Blake Snell gets more than a back-to-back Cy Young winner like Jacob deGrom. I'm sorry. You cap it at 180. If I'm a team, I'm not going north of 180 when it comes to Blake Snell. Double A, I want to throw it over to you to get your take real quick, and I want to circle back with Jonathan and TC. We got to start getting ready to wrap things up. But go ahead, Double A.
Heck, this is my opinion. By the way, Brownie, that's why I love gingers, man. You boys got a little bit of warrior in you. Hey, look, you look at the fact that Boris, Snell, both Snell, Bellinger, they're Boris clients. So is Soto. It might be a case, okay, that the Yankees are looking at the Bellinger deal like this. Yes, we might pay a little bit more. Yeah, we're adding a luxury rather than a necessity, right? Because we already have Verdugo, right? We already have our outfield set, right? But it's a case of taking up from up top to pay for the bottom. And what I mean by that, we do them a favor and sign Bellinger and give him the contract that he wants, and he'll play fair with us when it comes time to deal with Soto's contract. Because, you know, that's going to be, you know, I'm loving Soto on our team this year, But I'm also worried about the negotiations, because I'm afraid Boris is going to want more than Aaron Judge. I don't know if the Yankees are going to go that way.
Oh yeah,
But
that's not
just my
happening. If that's the
opinion
case,
that,
I'm hanging up the phone. Go ahead. My
Soto
fault. Go
will
ahead,
be
brother.
paid more than Judge.
That's one of my opinions. You could always look at it like that. And like I said, we could always move Verdugo.
Oh, Soto. I'm sorry, I misheard. I thought you said Bellinger would get paid more than Judge. No, that's never happening.
No,
but yeah, Soto's definitely
no,
getting
I
paid more
said
than Judge.
Soto.
Yeah, my
Soto.
fault. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, no, and to your point, Double A, with these conversations about Cody Bellinger, fine and dandy. If you want to bring Cody Bellinger, if you want to spend that money, bring Cody Bellinger in. What you better not do is don't let Cody Bellinger, you signing Cody Bellinger, be the reason you do not re-sign Juan Soto. That's what you don't do as an organization.
Right.
I'm fine bringing in Cody Bellinger. We can move some pieces around. We could have someone DH, platoon. I don't care about that. All I care about is you re-signing Juan Soto. And do not let you going out there get Cody Bellinger stop you or impair you from getting Juan Soto and re-signing Juan Soto. I got somebody else backstage that joined us. Sunil is backstage. Sunil, let me get a thumbs up before you ready. I wasn't sure if you was eating oranges, grapes, or apples, or bananas. Sunil was backstage eating granola bars and shit. I know what you was eating. Sunil, what's up? Sunil, haven't seen you in a minute. You good?
Yeah, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
Hope all is well, Sunil. Hope the family's doing well. Hope you're doing well.
148-16. I mean, day.
That's
sorry.
Slim Snell.
That's Slim Nail. That's what it is.
Yeah, Slim Nail.
Have we extended DJ for like 20 years and paying him $68 million for the back 10 of that?
Not yet.
Don't worry,
it's coming. It's coming.
Have fun paying
It's coming. It's coming. Sunil, I'm gonna throw it over to you just because we're gonna start getting to wrap things up over the next 10 minutes. But you've been listening to the conversation. You haven't been here in a minute. What's your thoughts, real quick? How do you feel about Cody Bellinger? What's your thoughts on free agency so far? Pitchers and catchers are right down the way. Go ahead, bro.
Cody Bellinger. Yeah, we definitely could use him as a backup at first base, like as was brought up on the panel already. It would also be the guy you'd want to put in center field to give Judge the occasional DH day, because Big G is going to be going to the Playa del Carmen, del wherever, for vacations, for those 100+ days. Yeah, the Playa de IL. Yeah, exactly. That's a better way of putting it. Big G is not reliable. I mean, it's just like, and also with all these stars that the Yankees project to get. Look at Stanton back in 2018. Did he have nearly the IL kind of reputation and career with the Marlins before coming to the Yankees? No, because he was playing every single day.
Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't as drastic as it is right now, Sunil, to your point. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So basically, the Yankees have basically brought these stars over, and they've changed up their, the usage patterns with these guys, and that's kind of what's contributed to some of the downfall that we're seeing compared to what their career stats have said otherwise with their previous teams, with their predecessors. I brought up Big G as an example. Big G was not a guy who you would acclimate with the IL and DL prior to come to the Yankees. After the Yankees, I brought this up on Pinstripes a few months ago, and it's a stark drop between what Stanton was with the Marlins and what he's with the Yankees. It's almost like a 33% drop. I just hope that the bigger point to be brought up here is not the player you bring in, but rather how the coaching staff treats them and uses them.
Yeah,
true. And that's my fear with Soto.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel especially having that conversation with Boone. Boone is super excited about his coaching staff this year, especially Brad Osimus. Right, Keith brought that up in the Q&A that he had with Aaron Boone. When it comes to Brad Osimus is going to be Aaron Boone's secret weapon. right? Carlos Mendoza, he's probably gonna be an awesome manager with the New York Mets. But Brad Ausmus, he was a manager already. He went to the World Series with the Houston Astros as a player. So I think having Brad Ausmus on the bench, he will help Aaron Boone when it comes to like in-game decisions and stuff. And he'll be one of that guy to, if you want someone to be a hard ass like Joe Girardi, according to the rumors, Brad Ausmus is that hard ass like Joe Girardi. Just to let everybody know, we're going to keep things rocking past 12:45. We're going to keep I want to keep everything going. I want to throw it back over to Jonathan and TC to get them in on a conversation. But then I want to circle back. I want to throw it over to Caputo, Li, Sunil. Li. Yeah, I figured out. But go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, well, in regards to first base, here's a few problems. You're having Rizzo, you have Ben Rice in the minor leagues, you have Murakami as an option. So Bellinger, maybe after this season, he doesn't really have much of a spot. If assuming you want to go after Murakami, like I mentioned earlier. But I think if they do get Bellinger, I do not know if they will go after Murakami.
But then again, Rizzo doesn't have a contract beyond this year.
What?
Yeah, no, that's a solid point. Rizzo doesn't have a contract after this year. And when it comes to Japanese talent, I love them. I got all the respect in the world for them. They ain't coming to us unless they sign on a dotted line with us. I'm not expecting any Japanese player to come over here to the Bronx. In my eyes, they all going to the Dodgers.
Personally, I think Ben Rice takes over Rizzo's roster spot after this.
Yeah, shout out to Fireside Yankees because they just did they did an episode on Ben Rice, and Ben Rice, he's coming up through the system, right? We've had some play, right? We've had the high-profile prospects, the Jason Dominguez, the Spencer Jones. We have our high-profile prospects, Austin Wells as well. But Ben Rice crept up, slept under the radar, right? George Lombard Jr., another prospect, creeped under the radar. That was a guy that we drafted him out of high school at about 5'10", 5'11". The kid had a growth spurt. He's 6'3", 6'4" right now on the field, looking like Manny Machado. That's what people comparing him to when it comes to his body size.
Ben Rice was drafted as a catcher.
Yeah, Ben Rice was drafted, and he was a catcher last year. He played catcher and first base last year. TC, I'm going to throw it over to you, and then afterwards, I'm going to get the other guys involved. Throw it over to Caputo, Li, then we're going to toss it over to AA, Sean Browning, NFE, and then Sunil to get ready to wrap us out. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah,
and
I think
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I appreciate everybody, your patience on the open panel. I know everybody wanted to get their take, and I appreciate you guys being patient and being very respectful to one another. But go ahead, TC.
Yeah, we'll get to the rest. I know these. I know Caputo has something to say, but real quick, bringing the Yankees in on this Bellinger, I think it just opens up the market more for. I mean, just hearing that the Yankees are involved, it's a typical tactics by Boris or whoever's drumming it up, because we have Spencer Jones, who is a Bellinger basically. So it really doesn't make any sense. There'd be no room for him. We have Dominguez as well, still that could come back in June, July. It really doesn't make sense unless, like Li said, there's some injuries with Rizzo, but he was cleared, and the whole thing with Stanton put him on the Phantom IL. I would love to ship him out and have Bellinger as the DH and more options, but it just doesn't make any sense to go, pay like Li said, $50 million for Bellinger. I'd rather, give it to Burns or Snell or someone like that is the top line pitcher. So I don't know. Go ahead, Caputo. I know you want something. You go ahead.
Go ahead, Caputo.
I tell you, instead of signing Bellinger, I would trade for Luis Arraez. That would be the direction I would go in. I'd rather have Luis Arraez.
That's a great move. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he would be an amazing addition to the lineup. And can you imagine Arraez, Soto, Judge, and Verdugo, that 1 through 4? I think that would be the best lineup in all of baseball if they added Arraez. That's why I'd rather see that move. And Gleyber Torres would probably definitely be in that trade if you traded Arraez. And that would be the move I would make if they didn't get a pitcher. I would go for a trade like that.
Listen, I don't think there's anybody on the panel that would say no to that trade. Having Luis Arraez, just imagine it right now. Luis Arraez, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge as your 1, 2, 3. Ooh,
and Verdugo.
By the time, by the time,
you're probably
even
gonna
you,
have to pay some of Torres' contract on that trade.
no, yeah. But even leave Verdugo out of it. If you just have that 1, 2, and 3, Arise, Soto, and Judge, the starting pitch is
best
not
in
going to
baseball.
even. It's not going to even. By the time the first inning is over, you're going to have 30 pitches for the starting pitcher. Li Yankee King, I want to throw it back over to you, Li, to get you in on the conversation. What's your final thoughts? And throw it over to Double A. And like I said, Sean Brown and NFE, and then Sunil to wrap things up. Go ahead, Li.
Now, I don't think we need any more bats. So I don't think Luis Suarez would make any sense because of what we have coming up through the system. So I don't think wasting prospects on Arise would make sense. But I do have a hot take.
Go ahead. Drop your hot take.
We are a closer away from a World Series team. That is the thing that I will stand by. And we can either trade for like Garrett Crochet, AJ Puck, one of those guys. Boom. And we're off and rolling. We're good.
Yeah. You gotta keep pushing Crochet out there until it happens. If you got, how about this? I got this new drinking game. The new drinking game is when you go on Twitter, take a shot every time you see Li Yankee King mention Crochet. Every time you see Li put out a tweet about Crochet, you take a shot. All right, and AJ Pollock. Okay, that's the new drinking game for 2024. Appreciate you, Li, my guy. You definitely will die. You definitely will die. I would throw it over my guy Sean Browning. Sean Browning, let's get your last take and then throw it over to NFE, the strike zone, and then my guy Sunil. Go ahead.
Well, just thinking about that, all right. That would be sweet, especially with Arias and DJ in the same lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Two guys in the whole history of the league with batting titles in both leagues.
Oof. Speak on it.
You know,
Speak on it.
Then you got to deal with Judge, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton on a massive bounce back, and Verdugo. That lineup would be legit. And then Volpe.
And Glaber.
My thing with Volpe, I would love to see him get on base more because that he does, and I mean, he already was 2020. But, man, I could see him stealing 30, 40, maybe even 50 steals on the season.
Listen, I'm right there with you, Sean Browning. If Anthony Volpe could just raise his batting average by 40 points, that's all I want to see from Anthony Volpe, right? I don't want to see Anthony Volpe trying to get 40 home runs or anything like that. All I want to see from Volpe, bring your batting average up 40 points. Hit 240, hit 250, point blank, period. That's all I want to see out of Anthony Volpe. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat.
On-base percentage
folks, we are sitting on 90 likes on the stream right now. If you guys can, smack that like button. We are 10 likes away from 100. And like always, if you guys could just be respectful to one another. If you don't agree with somebody's take, let them have their take just like you can have your take. Unless it's something that is super blasphemous, I think we can all agree everybody is allowed to fan how they want to fan. NFE, the strike zone, my guy. Last take on you. Give us your take. And also, if you guys aren't subscribed to my guy, NFE, the Strike Zone, make sure you go and support that channel. My guy is rising. His numbers are going up, and he's putting out great content. He also worked with Grandpa Tats as well on the Pinstripe Chronicles, so you can see him here and you can see him there. And make sure you subscribe to Uncle Tats because they're knocking on the door on 1K as well. Go ahead, NFE.
Yeah, and real quick before I give my take, I'm 15 away from 300, so
let's go.
That would be amazing. So
let's go. 15 away from 300. Subscribe to my guy NFE. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thank you. So, look, at this point, I know there's been a lot of that Cody Bellinger talk. I don't think the Yankees are going to add Cody Bellinger. I mean, if they did, would I be upset? No, I wouldn't be. But, they already have a Spencer Jones. Right, and I think at some point he's going to get called up, and it's a possibility that he could be a backup to Rizzo, and I know he's going to take reps at first base, so I'd love to see Spencer Jones come up some point in the middle of the season. So we'll see what happens. I think the Yankees are done adding bats at this point. That's what I think. I think the Yankees are done adding bats. I think they're moving forward. Like they'll explore their options, but I think they're gonna also start playing their prospects that they have their system too. I think they want to develop some of these guys, and and as I know, all the prospects don't exactly. They're not all of them are going to work out, and if they're not, don't hold on to them. You know what I mean? Like, don't waste their careers. If you're not gonna play them, look to trade them, right? You don't want them to do that with these guys. These group of guys that they have right now are great, and like I said, I think they're going to start. I think they're going to start utilizing some of their guys from the minor leagues as far as bats go. Pitching again, I think getting another starter wouldn't hurt. I don't think they'll sign one. If they do get another starter, I think they'll trade for one. I could see them probably adding another bullpen piece, but at this point, I think it's safe to say they're done making moves. I mean, unless
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. Go ahead, Jonathan. I want to throw it over to Snell. Go ahead.
Do you see them calling up Will Warren at some point?
Yeah. I think that's going to happen at some point. Yeah, he's probably going to pitch out of the bullpen first.
Bullpen?
He could. He could potentially be a number 5 starter. I'm not saying he will be. I'm saying it's a possibility. But I see him coming. I see him getting called up though at some point. Absolutely.
Yeah, and when it comes to Will Warren, we've had him on the channel, and he seems like he has the makeup to be able to come out of that bullpen. It could be a scenario like how Phil Hughes was used in 2009, coming out of the bullpen, and then the next year he was back at starting rotation. So when it comes to Will Warren, he will be seen this year. We'll see him in spring training, right? If he has phenomenal numbers, he could crack the team. I don't expect him to crack the team, but he could be knocking on the door. Most likely, he will start the season in AAA, build up some more innings on his arm, and be up here with the Major League roster. So now I want to throw it over to you, and then throw it over to AA. You did have you finished your take from your last one. Have you gone? Matter of fact, Sunil, go and then throw it over to AA for one more time, and then throw it over to Jonathan and TC, and we'll wrap things up. Go ahead, Sunil.
So if you were able to, like somebody brought up, pull the trade for Arias, can you imagine what the top 3 would basically make the opposition pitcher want to, pop some Imodium AD? If they wreak all the havoc, then your 4, 5, and 6 hitters would basically make the pitcher want to pop some X-Lax to stop the bleeding. And if they still can't get it done, then God help. Anyhow, with that aside, so. What do I see from this team coming in 2024? Spencer Jones, somebody made the analogy of him being more of a Cody Bellinger type. I would say he's more of a hybrid mix of Judge and Paul O'Neill, being a left-handed batter. Contact with power. Yeah. So I could see that kind of thing. Ben Rice, being a catcher in first base, that to me bleeds the M&M brothers from the Twins, Morneau and Mauer. If he's able to, hit with consistent average and whatnot. Now for Volpe, the ideal spot is if Rouson is going to work with him on his hitting tactics and all that, and knowing what he's got, what he brings to the table with speed and all that. If you bring this guy to the leadoff spot, why aren't you making him bunt and basically wreak havoc at the top like that, like your prototypical leadoff hitter? Why aren't you doing that?
Because common sense is not common, Sunil. That's why.
Well, Rouson supposedly made Judge what he is. He had all the minor league interactions before he went off to other teams in between, and now he's back. He basically worked with Judge and basically, helped develop Judge to where he is today. So if you have somebody who knows his guys, for what they are, he's got to know what Volpe is for what he is.
Yeah. Stephen Bree, they make a great point. Chase Hampton is a guy I'm looking forward to seeing. He can maybe be up this year. Chase Hampton as well. You guys understand? Chase Hampton was drafted last year. This was his first year This season that just passed was his first year in the big leagues. The last time the Yankees had a starting pitcher that they drafted and shot through the system the way Chase Hampton is shooting through the system, we had him on the show. His name was Jabba Chamberlain. When Jabba Chamberlain was drafted out of Nebraska, he shot through the system and came out of the Yankees bullpen that September into the postseason. And then we remember what happened with the midges in Cleveland. We don't gotta talk about that. But I'm super excited to see what Chase Hampton can give us. Double A, let's get your last take and let's throw it over to Jonathan and then TC, and then we go to wrap things up. Double A, I want to ask you, what are your expectations going into spring training? What do you want to see out of this team? And shout out to you. I know this is your first time on second time on the Yankees Open panel. If you guys don't know, if you guys in the chat wondering who's this guy, Double A, he contributes and he's always on the Knicks show. Shout out to my guy Double A. Go ahead, brother.
If you indulge me this, Heck, I want to ask the panel in deciding if the Yankees should sign Bellinger these simple questions. Would you rather have Verdugo in left field, or would you rather have Bellinger? My next question: would you bet your house that Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, and for as much as we guys don't want to think about it, Aaron Judge playing the whole season and not missing games? And I think the Yankees are in that mindset if they are going against Bellinger. Look, the Dodgers didn't need Ohtani, right? But if you're going to play, you got to play with the big boys, and the Yankees have finally realized they wanted the big boys, okay? And I'd rather have Bellinger around if Rizzo goes down, or if Judge goes down, or Stanton takes his vacation, as Hector says. I'd rather have Bellinger around to do that. And like I said, we could always move Verdugo. And I think it will help us with Boris in negotiations with Soto. And that's the main thing. And I'm with Heck on that. We got to sign Soto.
Yeah. And for people that are worried about if we were to sign Cody Bellinger and have to pay that extra penalty because of the tax, if we were to move Verdugo and get his $9 million off of the books, that penalty for the tax would just be cut in half. You won't have to worry about paying that full penalty. It literally would just be cut in half. Jonathan, I want to throw it over to you. And I want to point out the chat real quick. FL said, FL Driver, shout out to FL Driver in the chat. Injuries is what hurt the Yanks last year, 100%. We got to make sure that this team stays healthy. And that's one of the conversations I had with Aaron Boone. We have to be healthy. And you never know. Double A just said it. As much as we don't want to admit it, Aaron Judge maybe could be on the IL at some point. You never know. So it's better that the Yankees are proactive instead of trying to, in the middle of the season, try to figure it out. And we'll have a reunion with a Willie Calhoun or a Jake Bauer. That's something I know all of us Yankee fans want to avoid. Jonathan, I'll throw it over to you. But for the chat, we are sitting on 96 likes. We are 4 likes away from 100. If you guys haven't smacked the like button, let's get to 100 likes on the stream. And when it comes to the sub, we are sitting on 3,207 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, help us out. We are on our way to 4,000. And like Anna Marie said, hold up, guys. We're bringing back the greatest Yankee of all time, Mr. Greg Allen. Jonathan, I'll throw it over to you. What's your final takes? And let's throw it over to TC, and then we'll get ready to wrap things up and close it out. Go ahead.
Like I said before, I think the Yankees will see a lot of their young kids come up this year. You will have probably the first pitching call up will be Will Warren if there's a starter needed. You will probably, I'm guessing Beater might get a chance. Ben Rice will get a chance. I mean, I would love to see all these players get a chance in the major leagues so we can be absolutely sure who to protect in the Rule 5 draft next year.
Good point.
And you don't want.
I was actually just going to ask about Beater.
What? Beater is the Rule 5 draft next year. But
we got
the one thing I don't want them to do, I don't want them to not know what's in their farm system and have them be taken in the Rule 5 draft. If they have no place for them, I'd rather them being trade pieces so you can get some value back.
No, good point, because we've talked about it on this show. The Yankees, we lost a bunch of pitchers to the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah.
My guy Richie Rivera from Empire State of Baseball, he brought it up as well. The Yankees lost so many pitchers in the Rule 5 draft. So like Jonathan's point, if we're gonna lose them, and if you ain't gonna use them in a trade. Try to flip them. That's what the Dodgers did. That's why the Dodgers traded the second top prospect in all the major. I mean, and their farm system, because they had no space for him, and he had to get off the 40-man roster. If not, he was going to be in the Rule 5 draft. So they traded him for 2 other prospects. So shout out to the Dodgers for even recognizing that and making that deal.
And remember that everybody always picks in the last 2 years, everybody has loved the Yankees farm system.
Jonathan, hold on one second. NFE, I know you're about to dip. I'll throw it over to you. Last words. And guys, make sure you guys go follow NFE, the Strike Zone. Like he said, he is 15 subs away. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, just my final words.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. And then I'll let you go.
Yeah, as far as my final words, man, I'm glad, it's February 1st. Just means, the baseball vibes have kicked in, and here in a couple of weeks, pitchers and catchers are going to report for the Yankees, and pretty soon we're going to see some spring training games, and let's just hope for a better season. The number one thing with this team, it doesn't matter what players they have, it's going to be the health, because health kicked this team's ass a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the big thing. If this team could stay healthy, they're going to do well. So they can't have a bunch of guys go to the IL. So this is health. So that's the key for the season.
Copy. NFE, my guy, appreciate you, brother. Like I said, folks, if you guys can, please support my guy NFE, the Strike. So NFE, drop the link after you leave. Drop the link to your channel in the chat. That way people can subscribe to your channel. I see I got my guy Acevedo in the building. Acevedo, I just made you a monitor on the channel. So drop the link to your channel as well. And if you guys can, subscribe to my guy Acevedo's channel as well. So Acevedo, I just made you a moderator on the channel.
Moderator.
So put my moderator. So put your channel link back in the chat. Thank you, Sunil. You're such a sweetheart, brother. TC, I'll throw it over to you to get your last take, and then we get up out of here. Go ahead, bro.
Well, now that we have Greg Allen, I don't think there's room for Cody Bellinger. So there goes
best
that.
Yankee of all time.
There's no room. Yeah. So, but yeah, on a serious note, unless there's some serious problems with Rizzo or Stanton's already on the IL, I just don't see them getting Bellinger. It just doesn't make any sense. And we have guys. We forget Dominguez is right here coming up. He'll be here in June or July. So that's another big piece of the outfield. So if they want to spend money, you gotta beef up the pitching. Either it's in the starting rotation, or you got to get a bullpen piece. Like Li said, get a closer. I mean, that's a big piece, but again, all the successful teams don't have a lockdown closer, so that's just kind of a luxury. But the pitching does need some help. The offense should be well improved. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And like everyone's saying, it's the health. The health is a huge key, and maybe change their approach at the plate. Take more pitches. The on-base percentage needs to go up. I mean, this team didn't. They could, and hitting with runners in scoring position was terrible as well. That's another thing. So got to change it up. But I'm looking forward to the lineup. It's going to be a lot better. And let's go. Let's go, Yankees.
Yeah, definitely. Acevedo, I saw you put the link into for your channel. I just subscribed. Uncle Tat said he just subscribed. We are sitting at 98 likes. We are 2 likes away from 100. I just want to say I appreciate everybody who comes up and contributes to the open panel. Fellas, Sean Browning, Li Yankee King, my guy Jonathan, Michael Caputo, Sudi Sunel. Please, Sunel, you got to keep coming back. I miss you, bro. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well. I hope everything is good.
Yeah, actually, to TC's points about the pitching, I would hope one of 2 things actually would have happened. Number one, the Rangers got their TV deal back, so that gives them hope to get Bondy
now it's
back.
official. When did it happen? It happened today? This morning?
Yeah, actually, Jason put out a video on his channel on that. So they got their TV deals back. So Monty is most likely going to Yeah, he's most likely going to reunite with Texas. I was hoping that wouldn't happen because I've been saying this on every open stream. Andy Pettit is Jordan Montgomery's silent whisper. Bring him back because of that one thing. Now that that's not the case, the one
At
thing
that
I
price
see
tag?
as far
I don't think he's
well,
coming back, bro. I think he's going to
yeah,
Texas.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I don't see it now
Mm.
because of the
Yeah.
TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
But now if Boris basically, bends backwards, sometimes like he's usually capable of doing, when he's basically getting his ass handed to his face.
We'll be
Do
talking
you
freaky on the
see him
stream now.
now? Do you see him begging Hal and Cashman to bring that 6 and 150 deal back for Snell to get Snell on the Yankees?
Man,
And would you do it?
I'll pass on Snell. I'll tell him I'll do 4 for 100 for Cody, but I'm passing on Snell. That's just me personally. But
Well,
again, appreciate everybody in the building. Of course, the open panel. I'll let you guys down, and then I'll wrap things up with my guy TC. Again, appreciate you guys. You guys always open door policy for the open panel. But then TC, appreciate you, my guy. Like I said, spring training is right there. Pitchers and catchers are about to report to spring training. It's literally right there. Just so you guys know, please mark it down. February 8th. We have that live stream going. We will be rocking out from 11 in the morning to about 7 o'clock at night before the Knicks play. It starts off with Yanks Morning Brew from 11 to 1. Then Knicks Morning Brew right after from 1 until 7 o'clock. We are raising money so we could get the Brew Crew to New York City. We have an amazing opportunity to be at Madison Square Garden to have some footage and content from the Garden, but we got to get the boys to New York City. And as well, that Anthony Volpe interview that Jay Ferrara lined up, we're getting it set up. We're trying to do it around spring training. We got to get out to spring training to get the boys out there, but that's already lined up. That's already certified. You guys will be getting that. I will be at the Woodbridge Brewing Company this Sunday to see Oswald Cabrera for the Yankees his autograph signing Q&A. And as well, if you guys are in New York City in the tri-state area, I will be at the American Dream Mall because they're having Yankee Pinstripe Day. A bunch of old-time Yankees will be in the building signing autographs. Reggie Jackson, Mariano Rivera, Tino Martinez, Bernie Williams. It's just a bunch of old Yankees will be in the building. I will be there Saturday with our friend Frank Luna, and then Saturday I will be at Woodbridge with our friend Frank Luna as well. But just, always appreciate you guys supporting us. Appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. TC, I throw it over to you. Last words, and we out of here.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well, Hector. Appreciate all the guys that came on the open panel. Great interview you had with Boone. I mean, it's a family here, and I'll be here on February 8th as long as you need me. I can rock the Yankees Morning Brew. I can go into Knicks. I can, be a cheerleader for you guys. I'll be there all day supporting. We got to get you guys. We got to get Phil and Jigga to New York. I mean, you can't miss out on that opportunity. So great stuff going on here at the Brew. I love it. I love all these guys. Looking forward to the Yankees. I'm itching for some baseball, and I can't wait till we see what these guys look like. And I just pray for health. I pray for health this season, and for everyone, for all you guys, you as well, Hector, all the people here, as well as the Yankees. So God bless all you guys.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, that interview I had with Aaron Boone, that was just a warm up. We're going to have a lot more interviews this season, and it's all possible from our connections that we have with Frank Luna and with Woodbridge Brewing Company. So I just want to take a second to shout them out. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And again, appreciate all you guys in the chat. Smack that like button. We are just 2 likes away from 100. So if there's anyone in the building that hasn't hit the like button, hit the like button. And we are on our way to 3,000. February 8th. Mark that into your calendars. Make sure you guys drink some water. Say something nice to your neighbor if you like your neighbor. If not, you can tell them to kick rocks. But until next time, deuces.